Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have been watching these characters navigate love and tragedy for more years than I can count, and I have to admit, the current tension building around Katie Logan Spencer is some of the most compelling television I have seen in a long time. As an older man who appreciates the fierce, undeniable power of a mother's love, I find myself completely captivated by Katie's current predicament. She is a woman who has survived so many health crises and heartbreaks, and right now, every single one of her maternal instincts is screaming that her son, Will Spencer, is in grave danger. I evaluate this entire situation as a ticking time bomb, and I predict that Katie's desperate need to protect her boy is going to change the fabric of this family forever. Does anyone else feel that same overwhelming sense of impending doom when watching these tense scenes unfold? The most staggering revelation coming our way is Katie's growing suspicion that Melissa Dillon is not just a bad influence, but a literal murderer. I am absolutely floored by the sheer weight of this accusation, as Katie is beginning to firmly believe that Dillon intentionally ran over Luna Nozawa to permanently eliminate her from the picture. It is one thing to dislike your son's girlfriend, but to accuse her of a calculated, cold-blooded vehicular homicide is a leap that takes my breath away. I look at Dillon's seemingly innocent face on screen, and I have to ask myself, could this young woman truly be capable of such a horrific, violent act? My personal opinion is that Katie might actually be onto something, because in the world of soap operas, the quiet ones usually hide the darkest, most terrifying secrets. What I find incredibly fascinating about this entire dynamic is Katie's blatant hypocrisy regarding Luna's tragic demise. Let us be completely honest with ourselves here. Katie absolutely despised Luna and was not shedding a single tear when that young woman was violently taken out of this world. I feel a strange mix of amusement and concern watching Katie use a death she secretly rejoiced over as a weapon to destroy Dillon's life. It is a brilliant evaluation of Katie's complex character that she does not care about justice for Luna at all. She only cares about finding a convenient, fatal flaw to rip Dillon away from Will. How far do you think a mother should go to manipulate a tragedy just to prove a point to her stubborn child? Of course, when we deeply analyze the motivations at play, we cannot ignore the massive, traumatic elephant in the room regarding Dillon's past with Luna. I feel a profound sense of sympathy when I remember that Luna actually kidnapped Dillon, subjecting her to unimaginable psychological and physical terror. I have to ask, wouldn't any normal person harbor an intense, burning rage after enduring such a horrific ordeal? My personal opinion is that Dillon had every single motive in the world to want Luna dead and buried, making Katie's wild accusation seem shockingly plausible. I predict that as Katie digs deeper into the emotional scars left by that kidnapping, she will find the exact psychological trigger that might have turned Dillon into a vengeful killer on that fateful, dark night. Despite the glaringly obvious motives, the local police department has completely cleared Dillon of any wrongdoing, refusing to hold her responsible for the hit and run, but that means absolutely nothing to a mother on a mission. I always trust a mother's intuition over a sterile police report, and I firmly believe the authorities have missed a crucial piece of evidence that Katie is destined to uncover. I evaluate this frustrating situation as a classic tale of a wealthy, determined woman taking the law into her own hands, because the system has utterly failed to protect her family. It brings me so much joy to see Katie stepping into this fierce detective role, but I am also deeply worried that her relentless amateur sleuthing is going to put her directly in the crosshairs of a very dangerous individual. The situation becomes even more sinister when Katie starts digging into Dillon's family tree, specifically uncovering her direct relation to the deeply unsettling Remy Price. I get a cold, uncomfortable chill down my spine every single time Remy appears on screen, and knowing he is Dillon's cousin is a massive, glowing red flag for anyone paying attention. I completely agree with Katie's harsh assessment that the apple does not fall far from the tree, and sharing DNA with a known menace is enough to warrant severe suspicion. I predict that this family connection is going to be the ultimate key to unraveling Dillon's carefully constructed facade, exposing a history of manipulative behavior that runs deep in their bloodline. It honestly breaks my heart to watch young Will Spencer blindly defend Dillon against his mother's incredibly valid concerns. Will makes the naive, innocent argument that Dillon cannot control who she is related to, and while that is technically true, I evaluate his defense as the desperate words of a boy blinded by young love. I feel so much pity for Will because he is a good-hearted young man who simply wants to see the best in the woman he cares about, completely oblivious to the vipers surrounding him. Do you think Will is eventually going to realize his mother was right all along, or will his stubborn loyalty to Dylan lead to his ultimate emotional destruction? Katie's brilliant mind is already connecting the terrifying dots, leading her to wonder if Dylan shares her cousin Remy's deeply disturbing stalking tendencies. Remy has been obsessively watching Electra Forrester from afar, executing shocking, manipulative moves to force a romance, and Katie suspects Dylan is employing the exact same twisted playbook with Will. I strongly believe Dylan has been playing a very long, calculated game, perhaps targeting the wealthy Spencer heir long before any of them even realized what was happening. It is a horrifying evaluation of the situation to think that Will's entire relationship might be built on a foundation of predatory stalking, and I cannot help but wonder just how long Dylan has been lurking in the shadows of his life. Taking this terrifying theory one step further, I predict we are about to see the reveal of a massive, sinister conspiracy where Dylan and Remy have been secretly working together this entire time. I feel a genuine sense of dread at the thought of these two cunning cousins pooling their dark resources to infiltrate the powerful Forrester and Spencer families simultaneously. My personal opinion is that this would be a masterfully written storyline, elevating Dylan from a simple, questionable girlfriend to a top-tier calculating villainess alongside her creepy cousin. If they truly are a united front, how on earth are Katie and the rest of the families going to dismantle such a deeply entrenched, dangerous alliance? Because of these looming threats, I am genuinely terrified for the safety of sweet, innocent Electra Forrester, who is currently caught in the middle of this escalating madness. Katie is rightly acting under the assumption that if Dylan is ruthless enough to run over Luna to get what she wants, she will absolutely not hesitate to eliminate Electra if the young woman becomes a liability. I evaluate Electra as the tragic collateral damage in this impending war, and I am so worried that Remy's obsession, combined with Dylan's potential murderous streak, will put her life in immediate lethal danger. Do you think Katie will be able to warn Electra in time, or is it already too late to save her from the Price family's dark agenda? From a purely entertainment perspective, I evaluate this potential writing choice as an absolute stroke of genius by the show's creators. If the writers are truly rewriting the history of that fateful car crash to reveal Dylan as a cold-blooded, intentional killer, it completely revitalizes the entire canvas and gives veteran characters like Katie a phenomenal, meaty storyline to sink their teeth into. I personally love it when a soap opera takes a seemingly closed chapter, like a tragic accident, and violently rips it back open to reveal a shocking murder mystery. I predict that this bold retcon is going to pave the way for some of the most explosive, emotionally devastating television we have seen all year, setting the stage for betrayals that will echo for decades. As we look toward the future, I am filled with anxious anticipation for the inevitable, explosive confrontation where Katie finally corners Dylan and lays these shocking murder accusations out in the open. I can already picture the intense, fiery glares and the bitter words that will be exchanged when a protective mother goes to war with a suspected killer. My greatest fear, however, is the devastating toll this will take on the Spencer family dynamics. I predict Katie's aggressive tactics might actually push Will completely into Dylan's waiting, dangerous arms. Will Katie's desperate pursuit of the truth ultimately save her beloved son's life, or will it tragically destroy her relationship with Will forever?